Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today we have to put some grades and also give some injury updates based on last night's San Francisco 49ers 27-24 loss to the Seattle Seahawks. We knew it would eventually come. A lot of people wanted 16-0, just was not going to happen, and so they suffered their first loss. Let's talk about that. But first, we're going to jump in with the full injury report because a lot happened last night, although there's a lot that we still do not know because it's early on in the morning when I'm filming this on Tuesday, and of course, out there in California on the West Coast. It's still very, very early in the morning. So follow me on Twitter at RealThomasMott for full updates on what the injury reports are going to be whenever the diagnoses are out there. We'll start with Emmanuel Sanders, the biggest injury of the night. He went out with a rib injury. He had an MRI earlier last night, but it was inconclusive. They're looking at rib cartilage to see if how much is affected and if it's going to be a short-term injury or a long-term injury. They're going to do another MRI back at the team facility today. And so we'll see how long the injury is going to be, but I would say it's safe to say he will not be playing next Sunday if I had to put a guesstimation on when he could be returning. Now, Sanders, of course, was the biggest injury of the day, but there were also a lot of other injuries that were important. Defensive tackle DJ Jones was having a career day. 3 sacks in the game, but went down with a groin injury. He's having an MRI today. Defensive tackle Ronald Blair had that really nasty right leg injury late in the game when he was chasing after Russell Wilson. He had his right knee immobilized last night, was left the building in crutches. He will have an MRI today as well, and we'll expect him to be gone probably longer than anybody else. Azeez Al-Shaair, a little bit talked about there, the backup linebacker, he was in the concussion protocol, so he'll be day-to-day. And finally, Matt Breida re-aggravated, a lot of people didn't see this, he re-aggravated that ankle that he had injured over the past couple of weeks, really what's been bothering him all year. He came out late in that football game. That's why Tevin Coleman played the entire overtime period, and they're going to check him out and see if he's going to be able to go on Sunday next week. But it's safe to say a lot of these star players, including Sanders and Breida, might not be available for the next couple of games for the San Francisco 49ers. So they lose last night, and they also lose some of their key players for the next couple of weeks, a stretch the 49ers going to have their work cut out for them. They got Seattle coming up again here in the next couple of days, including next couple of games, including Baltimore and a trip down to New Orleans to take on the Saints. So there is the injury news. That was the worst part of what happened last night besides the 24-27 loss. But without further ado, we have to put some grades on the team. Offense, defense, special teams, individual grades as well. You guys know the drill here at Chat Sports. Let's start with the offense. I'm going to give them a C+. Listen, if it was just the first quarter when it was 10-0 or 10 and then Seattle scored, but basically the first 10 points were all scored by San Francisco. They looked great early. They were moving the football, and it was Deebo Samuel and Bourne caught a touchdown, and then they're moving the ball to Sanders, and they ran the ball decently enough, and you're like, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo sharp, they look great. It was 10-0. Although, once Emmanuel Sanders went down to me, this offense completely changed. Now remember, no George Kittle in this game, and that's obviously huge in its own right, but once Sanders went down, you had to go back to relying on Pettis and Samuel and Kendrick Bourne. It's just not the same offense. Now, we're going to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, who wasn't great in this football game, but they had a lot of really bad drops, including the Kendrick Bourne drop, which resulted in an interception and got Seattle deep back into 49er territory. They were good. The offense did enough to win the game. Remember, they were in position to win the game late in overtime and actually got the game to overtime as well. But the lack of the run game was big in this one, and it's just going to be interesting to see how the national media is going to cover San Francisco now after this loss, because they're going to harp on us, right? Be ready for that. You're going to get harped on. But remember, no Kittle, basically no Sanders, and no run game. That is the recipe for disaster if you're the 49ers, and yet they still took Seattle, who many people think is the best team in the NFC, all the way down to the wire. They had a chance to kick a field goal and hit it. McLaughlin didn't do it, and here we are today at 8-1. Other thing about the offense that was not good, we're talking about it a little bit later, 5 sacks of Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh my goodness, Jadeveon Clowney, 8 Joe Staley's lunch. The O-line, suddenly, literally all of a sudden, they get the 2 tackles back, and it's like, ooh, were they ready to play? Because it was not a good day for the offensive line. All right. Mailbag video coming up later this week. Use your hashtag 49ers down below. You got a lot of questions after this one. I'll answer as many as possible. So get your questions in down below. We might be doing a live Q&A later on in the week as well. So be sure to subscribe for that. Defense. Listen, they gave up 27 points. Russell Wilson played incredible, and yet I still get the defense a B-. They played well. They just couldn't get one more stop in overtime. Now, they had gotten the stop Then they needed to get another stop because the offense missed the field goal. Now, I will say this, though. I'm thinking of one particular play late in overtime. It was 3rd down and 3. If they get a stop, they're going to get the ball back. Russell Wilson, they come in an all-out blitz. Wilson just kind of moves to the right, runs it for like 20, 30 yards. They're in field goal range, and the game is over. I would have spied Russell Wilson on that play. Again, me, little chat sports commentator, trying to coach up the defense. I would have spied him on that play, but at the same time, they did have a really good day overall. The huge strip of Metcalf late in the first half. How about the pick by Drake Greenlaw? I mean, that was huge to have that interception to keep the 49ers alive, and they still got 5 sacks of Russell Wilson. Now, it didn't feel like they were getting to Russell Wilson often, but yet, here we are. We talk about Donald Blair and DJ Jones having big games, 5 sacks of Russell Wilson. The worst part about tonight, besides the injuries and the loss, or yesterday, besides the injuries and the loss, is the fact that missing Kwon Alexander really reared its ugly head in this game. I think this game showed how important Kwon Alexander is to that football team. The fact you don't get him with that torn pec is brutal going forward. But again, they gave up 27 points, which is a ton of points. They did have an overtime period, and to me, they played really well. I mean, I have no concerns about the Niner defense after this game. Russell Wilson's going to be the MVP. He's balling out, and yet we still had him on the ropes. Hey, I mentioned earlier, subscribe, because you got to subscribe to the 49ers Only Chat Sports channel to get all the latest 49ers news here, as we do videos almost every single day. We started at 0. We're at 8,000 right now, so hit the red subscribe button to keep on growing. Okay, 4 individual grades, special teams here real quick. We cannot, listen, B-, we cannot rip Chris McLaughlin. I don't want to see anyone ripping Chris McLaughlin. McLaughlin played great. He did better than we should have ever expected for a rookie, right off the street kicker to do. 3 for 4 on the night, including the 47-yarder to send the game into overtime. It was right down the middle. You cannot expect your rookie kicker, I know it's the NFL and he's paid to do it, listen, you could not expect your rookie kicker to have to kick the 47-yarder to tie and then also go kick a game winner. I knew he was going to miss it. I was sitting there and I said he's going to miss this because it's too big of a kick. He's been too good so far tonight, and you cannot expect a rookie kicker to do that. People are going to rip Chris McLaughlin because that was the game. He hit that, they win. We have a whole different story today, and yeah, he should have. But he hit the 47-yarder earlier and the 2 field goals earlier before that. He played well enough to win, just missed the final kick of the game. I don't want to rip him for that. I'm grateful that we signed a kicker who actually played well, because you could get guys off the street who would have gone 1 for 4 and missed the 47-yarder to not even give you a chance to go into overtime. I do not want to rip Chris McLaughlin. I also am not going to rip my sports betting skills. Now, of course, last night was not a good night to bet on the 49ers, depending on what you were betting on. But if you want to keep betting on the Niners or any NFL games further on this year, how about you go with our friends at BetDSI? They have great promo codes if you sign up for the first time. Chatsports.com/bet. Sign up, use our promo code 49ers. That's all it takes. Like 49ers to sign up. You get 120% deposit bonus. 120% deposit bonus whenever you guys sign up. So you get a lot of extra money to bet not only on the Niners, but also on any other team in the NFL. All right, individual grades here. Jimmy Garoppolo. I say B-. I want it to be a little bit worse than that, but I'm going to go with a B- because up and down night, missed a lot of throws, could have had more interceptions than he did, but also a lot of drops. A lot of really, really bad drops. Deebo Samuel had drops. Kendrick Bourne dropped the one that was an interception, and he was up and down all night. Now, Garoppolo missed a very important 3rd down and 10 throw when he underthrew Deebo Samuel on that final possession of overtime on the right side over Shaquille Griffin. One of the Griffin twins. The corner Griffin twin. Deebo had a step. Jimmy Garoppolo underthrew it. That would have basically sealed the game in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to hate him for that one play, but at the same time, he was up and down. Now, the reason it's a B- is because there was no George Kittle, his favorite target, and Emmanuel Sanders basically didn't play the entire final, 3/4 of the game. Jimmy G has those 2 targets. I think the 49ers win last night. I'm not going to hate on Jimmy Garoppolo. He gets a B-. What do you guys think? What grade would you give Jimmy Garoppolo? I know it's Jimmy Garoppolo, up and down, didn't play great. Russell Wilson won the game, but at the same time, I'm going to do a B-. I'm not going to be very, very happy with is the running backs, starting with Tevin Coleman, C+. The running backs did not produce in a game where they needed to play very, very well, but all 3 of them struggled. Breida had 10 carries for 18 yards. Mostert 6 for 28. And Tevin Coleman himself, 9 for 40, 0 touchdowns, 4.4 yards per carry. This is one of those games where the Niners are not going to be able to run the football. It's few and far between. It's only happened twice now so far this year. The last time Jimmy Garoppolo threw his way to a victory in the 4-touchdown game. The question is now, can you keep consistently running the football to help out this offense, especially if Emmanuel Sanders and Kittle are going to continue to be out for a long and extended period of time? All right. Wide receiver grade here, Kendrick Bourne. You could also throw in Deebo Samuel here, even though I think Samuel was a little bit better. Kendrick Bourne gets a C+. He caught a touchdown early, and I was like, getting ready to write down my notes and my grades, like, ooh, Kendrick Bourne might get a good grade tonight. And then as it went on, oh my goodness, he was absolutely horrible. Drop pass here, drop pass there, the crucial interception. He makes plays where it hits him in the hand. He had that one on the sideline where it's like right there, catch it, first down, couldn't do it. This is why they went out and got Emmanuel Sanders, boys. This is exactly why they went out and got Emmanuel Sanders, because they saw Kendrick Bourne, they saw Deebo Samuel, they saw Dante Pettis, who did nothing again, and they said, phew, we stand no chance if those are our wide receivers. We got to be grateful for them to sign Emmanuel Sanders, but now we must also wait. And again, maybe by the time you watch this video, Sanders has been cleared or Sanders is going to be out for a while. I'll tweet about it on my Twitter account, @RealThomasMott, but right now it's looking like Kendrick Bourne, C+ for my grades for him. Question, did the wide receivers cost the 49ers this game? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. I want to hear what you guys have to think about the wide receiver play in this one. A couple other grades here quickly. Joe Staley, rough night, D+. He was awful on the left side of the offensive line. Of course, coming back after the injury. Clowney ate his lunch. Clowney had like 5 hits, 2 sacks, a strip sack, a fumble return for a touchdown. I mean, good Lord, he did everything in this football game. I know he's a great player, and maybe they should have helped out Joe Staley a little bit more, but that's an all-pro. Coming back from an injury, he should have been good to go. If he was not healthy, do not put him out there because Justin School has played well enough. Right side of the offensive line struggled as well. It's really a full offensive line grade here. I would take a legitimate look at putting back in Justin School at left tackle after this game. Now, are they going to? Probably not. Is Staley going to get better? Obviously, he's been out a couple of weeks, sure. But at this point in the season, you're going up against Jadeveon Clowney. I wanted our most healthy left tackle in. I would have thought that Justin School would be the healthy one over Joe Staley. He was not. He struggled. He gets a D+. Should School start at left tackle? I know it's an unpopular opinion. I would consider it because he played so darn well over there over the past couple of weeks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And finally here, Fred Warner, we got to give someone on the defense a good grade because, you know, people played well. Sherman gave up a couple of big plays. Mosley did not have his best night overall, and obviously Greenlaw had the pick, so there were some other people to give grades here. Bosa was a little up and down. Eric Armstead played great. Obviously, the return for the touchdown. I'm going to give an A- to Fred Warner, though, because Warner balled out. Look at the stats. 10 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hits, 3 tackles for a loss. He's balling out even without his partner in crime, Kwon Alexander. He's making a strong case again to be the best inside linebacker in the NFL. But I will say this. He's a lot better when Kwon Alexander's next to him. Or I should say the Niners are a lot better whenever Kwon Alexander is out there because I think it showed and we got a little exposed yesterday in the Niners 27-24 loss. All right. How concerned are you guys with the loss? Let me know what you guys think down below. I want full debates. I'll be commenting with my YouTube account as well because we got to break down, we got to react, and I'm here for you guys for the first loss of the season. Now, don't panic. It's going to be okay. We're 8-1. Tough games ahead. Got to figure things out. Got to get healthy, but we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Again, live video coming up, I believe, on Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be tweeting out more about that later on. We'll talk more about that later on in the week, but we're subscribed to the channel. That way you're ready to go for our second live Q&A video. We had like 900 people the last one last week, so we're expecting at least 1,000 people in a live Q&A where I take as many questions as possible, so stay tuned for that. There you go. All time we have for today on our 49ers injury update plus player grade video for the loss of the Seahawks. Again, at the time of filming this, I gave you the update on Sanders and DJ Jones and Ronald Blair, Shaair, and Breida, but we don't have the final official update, so if you watch it later on in the day, it might have already come out. Just cut me a little bit of slack there because the way, non-live videos work, it's basically how we're going to do it here. But hopefully the injury outcomes are good. I'm worried about the Sanders one, though. I'll be tweeting out again the thoughts, or my thoughts on the injuries and what is the injury whenever they do go live. All the time we have for today. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott. It's a tough loss. We're going to be okay, though. Signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.